Why not try to...
Listen, I realize I'm a little late to the party on this, but Andrew Tate, this guy's a fucking idiot. So I've heard of him, right? I've come across some of his stuff. I know that he's got, these videos out there where he talks about, he's basically like trying to train teenage boys on like how to treat women. And he's like, women like a tough man. They don't want to be treated nicely. Nice guys finish last. You gotta disrespect them and be a tough guy and a bad boy. And that's what they love and all this shit, right? So we got a generation of kids growing up, who are going to be little assholes because they listen to this idiot Andrew Tate. And I get it, right? His entire brand is, I'm rich and it's because I'm freaking great and I'm awesome, and you're poor because you guys suck. You're all poor because you're lazy and yada, 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 right? And like, this is kind of a thing with rich assholes, right? They just think like, I'm gonna go make money off of basically telling people all you gotta do is be like me and you'll be rich. I wake up at 2 a.m. and I work harder than everybody and then I disrespect women and that's why I'm rich, and that's like that's a thing, right? But then I read more about this dude and it's like he's selling this like this idea of like, you got to have Riz and be a bad boy and all this to like a bunch of 13, 14, 15-year-old boys. So again, yeah, we're going to have a generation of little assholes growing up because they think, freaking Andrew Tate's brand is awesome and stuff, right? Hate these type of people. And it's like, they could go out there and say, yeah, I did this and I did that, and then, it was some hard work, but, I got a break here, or, I took these classes or whatever. But no, it's never that. It's I'm freaking awesome and you guys suck. That's why you're nothing. That's why you got to go to a 9 to 5 every day. You got an ugly wife because you suck, and I'm great. And I got a bunch of women, bunch of losers. It's like, I mean, like, I don't, I could understand young kids who maybe don't have a good role model in their life or a good mom or dad in their life that like are sitting at home, and maybe they don't have a lot and they're like, maybe I should do what Andrew Tate. I mean, impressionable young boys, right? I mean, I get that those kids are out there, but I'm not Andrew Tate. I'm not rich like Andrew Tate and all that, but I can tell you like your life will be much more fulfilled when people like you because you're a genuinely good person, not because, some idiot on, YouTube is like, you just gotta be like me and be badass, and that's how you're gonna be rich and have a bunch of women. Just stupid. And it's like raising all these boys who are gonna be the worst people for your daughters to date. Just the worst people. Because this dude has videos out there where he talks about being pretty violent toward women. So he's a horrible dude. I don't care about his money. I don't look up to people because they have money. I don't care about that. But I came across this post by him, and it's so dumb. It was a video of him and his kid, but what he captioned it with is what I want to talk about. It said, I've seen full-grown men afraid of bees. I've seen their pathetic scum children afraid of bees. My 4-year-old is not allowed to be afraid. It is prohibited. He is afraid of nothing. And when you see his name as UFC World Champion in the coming years and watch your own shit kids achieve next to nothing, know this, warriors are made. I was made, and that's why I'm better than you. My 10 sons are better than your sons. I'm going to tell you right now, as a guy who was a Division I athlete, a 2-time All-American Division I athlete, who also raised a daughter who was a Division I track and field athlete, who holds school records at her Division I institution, and another daughter who is a Division I athlete currently and is already a 3 or 4-time All-American in her first year in Division I. I can tell you this. I will say that I didn't really have a father figure in my life. I had a mother who was awesome and I had a bunch of good coaches. As a father who raised my daughters to be, good student athletes, I can tell you that there's definitely a huge benefit in having good parents in your life that are going to invest in your success, whether it be academically, whether it be physically, in sports, or anything like that. I can say that is very, very important. My video of myself and my daughters went pretty viral because my daughter used it as a part of her post to announce what school she was committing to. And it's basically a picture of me pulling a sled running, a video of me pulling a sled running while my older daughter, who at the time, I think they were 4 and 8 at the time-ish, my older daughter is on the sled that I'm pulling running with, and I'm racing my younger daughter who's 4 at the time. And we're racing, and we get to the finish line, and I let her win. She doesn't know that, but I did. But we get to the finish line, and she's like, I won, you know. And she used that video to announce where she was committing for college. And so I get it. You should. If you have children, they should be your number one priority. You should be fully involved in their life. And when my wife got pregnant, who was my girlfriend at the time, got pregnant, I decided that day, like, these girls that I have are going to be, like, I'm going to be the biggest, most important person in their life. Like, I'm going to just, they're going to love me because I'm going to give them all of my time and energy. And I did that. They're 24 and 20 years old right now, and they would both say that I gave them a lot of my time. Did we have, issues sometimes? Of course we did. There were times where, for the most part, they thought of me as like their best friend, but there were times where, I had to be the dad and play that card, So I get the wanting to be involved, and I think that is important. This dude, though, he is not it. My son is not allowed to be afraid of anything. Being afraid is prohibited. Listen, bro, what you have right now is a son who's afraid of things, but who's also afraid to tell you because you're an idiot. You're an idiot, bro. Like, the fact that you're like, my son is not allowed to be afraid of anything. That's stupid. It's just dumb. My son's going to be the UFC champion. It's so, like, I'm telling you guys right now, when my daughter was playing high school basketball and running track, she was exceptional. People would come up and go, oh, she's going to be in a WNBA. And I'd be like, you know what? We're going to try to get her to be a good high school athlete and a good college athlete. And then if anything happens after that, that would be great. Not saying you shouldn't go all in and go hard on that stuff, but those type of things, saying that to 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, you have no idea what their development is going to be. You just don't know. So to throw things out like that, it's just dumb. He's like, yeah, well, my kid's a UFC champion and your kid. And the fact that he's like, and you're going to have little shitty kids who are going to accomplish next to nothing. And people, I was looking it up, people buy this shit. He has a group of 80,000 to 200,000 people who subscribe to this I don't know, Hustlers Network or something that he has that buys this. People who are in his comments saying some of you guys are in your feelings about what he said, but you got to listen to what he's saying. No. If someone is telling me my kid's going to be shitty because he's training his kid harder than that, I don't need to listen to that. That's stupid. My daughters are exceptional athletes. I was an exceptional athlete. I have never thought to come on here and shit on everyone else because they weren't as good as I am. That's stupid. And yes, if I wanted to start a Hustlers Network and start just talking about how women are dumb and you got to dominate them and all that and grow a community of people who are impressionable young boys who don't know any better. Yeah, we could all do that if we wanted to be assholes as well. But we don't. And it's absolutely dumb. And grown-ass men, there are grown-ass men who work 9 to 5s who watch that and they really think that they're failures in life because Andrew Tate's doing better than them because he has nice cars and a nice house and all that. And they literally think they're failing. I'm sorry, but I would never think that. I've raised 2 awesome daughters. My wife loves me. I love myself. I'm not a failure. I love my life. I'm good. But there are people who think they're failing because Andrew Tate told them, hey, if you don't have 4 Ferraris like me, you don't have this house like me, you're a failure, bro. And your kids are going to be failures. And I don't know if he has 10 sons, actually. But, yeah. Seriously, bro. Seriously. Probably, 9 different women or whatever. Come on. But people are watching this. But with that post, with all that dumb shit he said, was this video of him and his son. And I'm going to tell you, if I see the video maybe without the crap that he said about other people, I may not have a problem with it. One thing I would say is that with my daughters, especially at the age of the kid in this video, it was always about me playing with the kid, playing with my kid. Like, I wanted my daughters to run. We would go on a run together. We would go do things together. It wasn't about me sitting there and like snapping while my kid did things. Like, so I don't want to really dog the video, because I don't really dog people's way that they raise their kids. I should say I do, because I think some of this is just stupid, but I don't have a problem with someone trying to be involved and raise their kid to the best of their ability.
Fuck the bee. We're not scared of the bee.
Bees can't hurt you. We're men. We're not scared.
Understand?
Understand.
Keep your hands up. Down, up, then punch. Don't punch when you're moving. Understand?
Understand.
Don't punch when you're moving. Down, up, punch.
Understand.
And so, yeah, like I said, raise your kid. You want your kid to be a boxer? I have no problem with that. I think you may run into a time when your kid's priority changes, their priorities change, where they maybe don't want in their life what you want for them. You know, I think my daughters stayed in track and field because we kind of had a rule around the house that you needed to be in extracurricular activities. So my daughters played instruments, they played sports. There was a point where my younger daughter said, I don't want to play the drums anymore. I'm done with this. I'd rather play 3 sports and never play these drums again. And we said, okay, go for it. Don't play the drums anymore. There might be times where your kid's priorities change. You should be able to evolve with that. Like, it's not your dreams, it's theirs. And I think one of the reasons Andrew Tate has this dream for his kids is because he was never able to accomplish those things. He was a successful kickboxer or whatever, you know, from what I'm reading, but maybe he wants his kids to go farther than he went. And honestly, I can understand that too, as long as there's like, you're a part of it. You're having fun with your kid. I don't know him sitting there and his kids doing it. And, don't do that. Don't do it that way, you know? And it's, hey, I understand instructing your kids and stuff. But as someone who is an accomplished athlete, who has daughters who are accomplished athletes, I know one thing you don't have to do to get your kids to be accomplished. And that is shit on other people and their kids for not doing the things how you're doing it. Writing online that other people's kids are going to be shitty, they're not going to accomplish anything, and your kid's going to be a UFC champion. People are buying this shit. Don't let your kids grow up to be Andrew Tates. Don't let them do that. It's a horrible, the dude is horrible. He's absolutely horrible. I have a feeling I'm going to be making other videos about this dude because I have a feeling some of you guys are going to be like, oh, if you think that video is bad, wait till you see this one. Because I have a feeling this dude has a lot of worse posts and videos out there than this one. We'll see. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.